Hello and welcome to yet another video. We are still talking about interview preparations or interviewing skills, and in this video I'll be highlighting some of the interview questions that trap most candidates during the hiring process. I believe what I'm going to share with you is something that you can be able to resonate with, and it will open your eyes into how to prepare effectively for some of these questions so that you do not sabotage your hiring process. Now, you realize that when it comes to interview questions that sometimes candidates find them tricky, there is actually no single trick question that traps everyone. But you realize that common traps actually include questions about either your weaknesses, your achievements, your past jobs, or your salary expectations, or sometimes questions around why you want to be part of the team that is doing what your potential employer is doing. So that is basically what we will be highlighting this video, and I believe this will come handy for you in your next interview that you will be attending. Now, to begin with, one of the questions that seem like a trap for a candidate during the hiring process is questions assessing your biggest weakness. For example, if you're asked, what is your biggest weakness? For most candidates, you are most likely torn in between whether to admit your genuine weakness or to fake the weakness. So you realize either way, it has its pros and cons. For instance, if you decide to fake your weakness, for example, you say, I work too hard, you may sound indigenous. While on the other hand, if you become vulnerable and admit a genuine weakness, it might also make you as a candidate to seem unqualified for the job. So basically that is the trap. How do you now counter this trap so that your answer brings out exactly what the interviewer wants to hear? You may want to consider talking about a weakness that you are actually actively working towards improving. For example, describe a specific step that you are taking to address that particular weakness and the positive result that you have seen or you are looking forward to see from that weakness. In our previous videos, I have actually taken time to expound on how to answer the biggest question, tell us about your weakness. And I believe the examples highlighted in that video will come in handy for you. So feel free to go back to our previous videos on a particular one addressing how to respond to your weaknesses during an interview. The second trap question that seems like a trap for candidates during the interview is questions around your salary expectations. Again, in our previous videos, this is something that we have been able to highlight over and over again, because as a professional, as a candidate, before you are hired, you have to discuss with your potential employer about your salary expectations. So most of the time, this question is considered as a trap because you can't afford to oversell yourself. At the same time, you can't afford to undersell yourself. So sometimes sharing a number or a specific figure may lead to a lowball offer if you state too low. And on the other hand, it may deter employers if you ask for too much. So the most important thing when it comes to responding to salary expectation questions is, of course, to do your market research and also sell yourself based on your worth. Assess your skills, assess your expertise, assess the extra value you are able to bring on board to this role, and convert that in terms of currency or expectation, your worth for the skills or expertise that you're bringing on board to your potential employer, so that you don't find yourself shooting too low or shooting too high, making the potential employer not to give you the offer. The third question, and this is very interesting, which normally seem like a trap for candidates during an interview, is why did you leave your last job? No candidate wants to be asked that question. And believe you me, every potential employer is always keen on why are you transitioning from your current employer to us, or what made you to exit your previous employer. So the obvious advice that we normally give when it comes to how to approach this question, number one, is the disclaimer that you should never speak negatively about your current employer or your former employer or your former boss, because definitely speaking negatively will lead to major red flags to your potential employers. So the trap there actually is portraying your previous employer negatively, and this gives insights or highlights into red flags on your potential employer. So how do you tackle this question so that it's not a trap for you during the interview? You may want to focus on the positive reasons. Think positive as a professional. Prepare positive reasons as to why you want a new role. Is it a new opportunity you're seeking for? Is this potential employer one of your dream organizations you've always looked forward to work with? Are you seeking for new challenges? So are you seeking for career growth? Will this, working with them, will it give you more platform to put your experience and your expertise into action? So think positive, in short. Whenever you are asked about why you want to leave your current employer or what made you exit from your previous employer, think positive and avoid speaking negatively about your reasons for exit. Lastly, this is a question that most candidates will always find it as a trap, yet you can still be able to navigate through and get along with the hiring process. And the question is, why do you want to work for our company? Or why do you want to join our team? The trap in this question, you realize that a superficial answer that only focuses on your personal growth or on your personal gain as a candidate without demonstrating genuine interest in being part of that organization will definitely make you to fall flat. So instead of focusing more on your personal gain, what you stand to gain if you work with them, if they bring you on board, tailor your response to show that you have done research about who they are, what they do, the services they offer, and by connecting your skills and your values to their mission, to their projects, to what they believe in as an organization, that is one of the main driving factors behind why you want to work for them or why you want to be part of a team that is doing what they are doing. You realize that as a candidate, there is no question that is asked during the interview that should always find you off guard, especially the commonly asked questions. We should not only focus on bringing out our technical expertise for the role or showcasing our track record of success, and we overlook some of these commonly asked questions. Think positively and make sure that your response packages you as the best solution or as the right fit for that role. And we encourage you to feel free and reach out to us for a more personalized interview coaching sessions in preparation for your future interviews or in preparation for an upcoming interview that you are already scheduled for. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one.